And good Tuesday evening, folks. Thanks for joining us here on Valley News Live at 6 o'clock. Live look there, Luther Family Ford Skycam. Things pretty quiet for us in the metro, and we're only seeing some isolated storms developing as we speak. But where those storms are developing, there's a good environment for some spin and even some wind and hail there as well. We'll talk about that in just a couple seconds. Of course, right now there's a little bit of a breezy look there. Our camera shaking a little bit there in South Fargo there along 32nd Avenue South. Look at this low pressure system that is moving through Ontario. This is the visible satellite imagery. You see a very well-defined counterclockwise spin there as that system moves through Ontario. But also take note of this as we look a little bit closer in here to the metro. You can see kind of that west to east movement of the clouds as that's following the bigger low pressure system, those higher clouds from west to east. But these actual storms you can see moving from north to south. That indicates to me that there's a differing wind directions at different parts of the atmosphere. So that to me tells me, hey, there's some spin out there. And of course, with that spin, we are seeing a tornado warning now for Griggs County as a landspout tornado is possible there near the Cooperstown area. So wind, as I noticed on that shaking Luther Family Ford Skycam, 15 miles per hour out of the south-southwest, 81 degrees the air temperature. And of course, there's that band of clouds along the stationary front, which is associated with that same low pressure system up in Ontario. Just a few clouds, though, for most of us, seeing a few spotty showers there. Hubbard County, mainly south of Bemidji, mainly east of Park Rapids. But right there near Cooperstown, that's where the environment is best for some of that spin at this point. So that tornado warning, have not seen any reports yet of anything actually in contact with the ground. But this is an area, an environment that we could see a landspout tornado occurring. So of course, if you are in the Cooperstown area, the storm now moving right along Highway 200 as we speak, right near Cooperstown. So of course, make sure you're indoors, away from those windows, get into the innermost part of your house, protect yourself from anything that may be occurring with this tornado warned storm. That warning goes for the next 30 minutes or so. But notice it's kind of outrunning that little purple box, which indicates that tornado warning area. Also, Lenora, this system split into two, so that northern storm is having some development there as well. So you could see some small hail, some gusty winds on the northern part of this storm as well, near the Lenora area. But that warning, of course, for Cooperstown, right along Highway 200 is where that rotation would likely be at this point if there were something occurring, a landspout type tornado with this system near Cooperstown. But moving very slowly, about 5 to 10 miles per hour to the south at this point, so slow moving system. For the rest of this evening, there's that kind of boundary we're seeing, and watch this how right along that boundary, mainly along and north of Highway I-94, I should say, is kind of that range where we'll be most likely to see those storms popping up here this evening. And of course, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight, still could see some storms lingering into Minnesota, and another round of storms looks possible in the Red River Valley around 1 to 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Also, some of these could also be strong to possibly severe. But again, mainly north of I-94, that same kind of area, that stationary boundary is, well, stationary. By tomorrow morning, though, we do see that chance the storms move further south as that stationary front becomes a little less stationary and moves just into the southern part of the valley very slowly. So tomorrow morning could see some storms or showers lingering south. Patchy, dense fog is possible elsewhere in areas along the Red River toward the Canadian border, Devil's Lake Basin, even northern Minnesota. That darker color you see there is where we could see some patchy dense fog. Reminder to use the headlights and use the low beams if you encounter any dense fog tomorrow morning. Lunchtime, 70s for most everybody. Plenty of dry time in store for us. Still could see a pop-up shower or rumble there across Minnesota around dinner time. But for most of us, our evening plans looking pretty good. 80s across the board. But tomorrow night, yes, clouds increasing from west to east. And with that clouds increasing, we could, yes, see some storms returning or some rain returning to our western neighborhoods late tomorrow. But in Fargo tomorrow, we're pretty quiet. The wind turns northerly there in the afternoon, and you can see those 70s and 80s for those temperatures there with plenty of dry time there around that 5 o'clock hour. We do cool down, though, behind this system once the system finally clears. 70s for Thursday, Friday, and boy, the weekend looking fantastic. Mid-70s both days. May have to dodge a few raindrops there for Saturday.
Looking a lot quieter than tonight.
Yes, a lot quieter than right now, that's for sure. Yeah.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, how much Minnesota's hero pay might dish out and how many people are getting any at all.